Hey guys, it's me, Clownish Draws, and I am 1 week into AP Art. Oh, well, that's a lie, actually. I am 3 days into AP Art. I think it'd be more believable if I said I was a week in, after all the crap I've been doing. Okay, where's my intro at?
I'm Dog Day and I'm just so sad. Why do bad things happen to good people like me?
I guess that's good enough for an intro. So let's bring things back to Wednesday when I had my first day of school. You know, honestly, my schedule has not been that bad. I have 2 periods for AP Art and I can dedicate my homeroom period for AP Art as well. So I'm happy about it. And I also don't have a math class because I got all my math credits in the years prior. Frankly, I think the most stressful thing I have this year is AP Art, which is barely a stressor to me. I don't have many friends in my classes though, but it's okay. It just means I get more time to study. To kick off my AP Art class, I ended up submitting all my summer work, because at my school it is a requirement that you submit summer work for AP Art for your first grade in the grade book. What I ended up doing, and what I did last year, is I just submitted all my art fight pieces. So something funny about my AP Art classes is I didn't have room in my schedule to actually be in the official AP Art period. So I actually sit in one of the Art 1 classes and just do my work in there. And because one of the Art 1 classes is my teacher's planning period, so there's a different instructor in there who doesn't teach AP Art, I just ended up working on my sketchbook for the year. It was a pretty nice warm-up, actually. Here's the cover that I made. If you notice it has a bit of a glossy texture, that's actually tape because, unfortunately, the sketchbooks offered to us have paper covers. And I have a running track record with paper sketchbooks. I absolutely mutilate the cover in my backpack because, well, it's paper. Then the night of day 1 after school, I ended up drawing a bunch of pictures of objects around my room since one of my prompts I planned to be about the objects in my room. So I wanted to figure out specifically what shading style I'd give them and how to make them look semi-realistic while still being in my cartoonish art style, which was definitely a challenge and I was all here for it. I drew Skipper as well, so that way I'd have a feel for the character. That's it for day 1. But for day 2, I had to make slideshows to propose my prompts. I officially am stuck to the Skipper prompt for sculpting, and I've actually figured out my prompt for drawing. I'm just going to be showing you guys the raw slides. So my question was, what do the items that surround me say about me? The reason why I did it is a mouthful, so I'll let you pause here and you can read it yourself. Another thing we had to add to our slideshows is artists to inspire your portfolio, so I put a couple. My first artist I researched is Camilla. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, unfortunately. I just really like her use of texture, and I want to emulate that in the paintings I will be making for this portfolio. My next artist who inspired me is Brent Estabrook. His compositions are kind of what I want to go for my portfolio, so that's why I put him in here. The last few slides were project concepts, but I don't want to spoil them for you just yet. So let's move on to my 3D slideshow. My question is the same as I proposed in my AP Art video. How can I create statues of a simple character design that become more complex as they progress? So, pretty simple. My why can basically be watered down to, I liked the character and I want to get better at sculpting because, as I've said before, I'm not that great at sculpting. The artists who inspire me are SVV Art, because she translates her 2D art into 3D art. My second artist is Morichak, aka the creator of Gloomy Bear. Well, I just really like his illustrations, and also for the figurines that come out of the character, it'll help me with weight distribution, because Gloomy has a big head and a very narrow body, kind of like Skipper. The projects are the same as I showed in the AP Art video, so go check them out if you want to see my projects that I have planned. After turning those in way before the due date, which was August 21st, and I finished them on the 14th, I came to my teacher and I said, "What am I gonna do now?" And she said, "Oh, you can start your projects if you want." And I said, "Really?" So I ended up bringing 20 pounds of clay home to my house and I started sculpting Skipper. It's not turning out how I'd like it to look so far. He's a lot fatter than I intended, but I think I'm going to warm up to it and I'm going to get better as I go on. As I said, I wasn't great at sculpting, but it's definitely turning a lot better out than my humanoid projects. Me and my art teacher also discussed my canvases since I'm planning on doing painting. At first, she suggested I do flat canvases, but I don't really care for flat canvases. I much prefer to stretch canvases. And after looking at the stretch canvas prices, I was a little worried, because I like making big pieces. So my teacher proposed to me a cheaper option, which I'm very excited about, which is I make my own canvases, which I've actually never done before, but you know what? I'm going to learn. So now, while I wait for the next week to start, I'm going to be working on my Skipper statue, and I'm going to be taking reference pictures for my drawing portfolio. Glad that you tuned in. See ya!